Welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time to talk about the newest champion, or one of the new. There's a lot of them this month. Newest champion entering the contest in buffed Cyclops. I'm really pumped up on him. You know, I like him. I like him a lot. We're going to show him at high sig. We're going to show him unawakened. We're going to show off his utility, so we can get a real concept of what is capable with him. I kind of want to start off with one of the most fun things to do with him. And I'm going up against this Black Widow, and I know some of you are like, dude, trust me, there's a reason, right? She evades, she has a chance to evade. It's been a long time since she was a powerhouse, but she really shows off a lot of what he can do. And then remember, she can reduce your ability accuracy, or she, with her SIG, and these are SIG 200 champions, when hitting in. We're also going to talk about kind of like how to play him and some of the initial struggles I was having and like getting better with him. So we're going to cover this whole thing and we'll get through it. But here's what I want to show you. This Black Widow started off with about 1 million health. It's like 972,000. Now, you're only going to want to do this when health pools get up to a certain size. But you can see we've worked all the way up to our 20 prowess there, which will allow us to throw our special 3. So let's go ahead and get into that. And I want you to see that at this moment, she has 82% health. And there's a reason why I said at this moment. So I think what happens here is she was attacking, and I think she actually reduced my ability accuracy. This special, if you have the 20, the precisions, not prowess, sorry, of the precisions, is not supposed to cost any power, but it still costs me power, but we are more than fine. Remember, she had over 800,000 health. We are getting these power efficiencies, right? And so we are keeping so much of ours. We are getting the prowesses there. You can see this. This is just wild what is happening. 141,000 crit off of an SP1. This one before that was like 111,000 twice. 800,000 damage just absolutely melted. Now, I'm aware that they're putting out more and more defenders with like protection mechanisms and things like that. These other defenders haven't gone away, and you still want to be able to get through them. So I think that there is still a tremendous use for him. Now we're going to go over a little bit more just like kind of how to play him. And I will tell you that like I played him much better in this. It was actually later in my testing. We're going to look at him unawakened. I'm going to show you like kind of the things to start to get used to. And one of them is he has, I think they're calling it like stoicism, very, very much playing into the character. I think that is really cool. I love it. Where he actually doesn't move forward. If you're an advanced or familiar with Mantis, you're familiar with this. With him, it feels like, I don't know why, but it feels even more pronounced or something like that. And I'm going to miss some evades. But you can see that I'm doing my best to get intercepts. I actually had a lot of trouble landing his light. I think it's because he's not running forward at all. But the cool thing is we're doing just fine. Like I said, I'm playing him a little bit better there. We got her down. Absolutely no problems. I think she had about a 300,000 health pool, is obviously with class advantage. So that's a little bit more of like your kind of smaller questing or your battleground style health pool. And you're going to want to mix in a bunch of intercepts with also some not going for the full 3-hit combo. And I'll explain why the 3-hit combo is a big deal. The 3-hit combo, you just have to get to 3. It doesn't matter. It can be medium, light, light. It can be medium, light, medium. However you want to get to 3 in your combo. You're going to see, watch the precisions. We should get one right here. And it refreshes that. It refreshes your precisions. You get another one. They expire one at a time. So I never felt too much pressure that they were just about to fall off. It happens sometimes, but it's usually because I made a mistake. And then when you intercept, you also get one too. Hopefully we set one up there. No, see, I didn't get credit for an intercept. So let's see here. I'm going to be setting one up here. That's why I was baiting her SB1. Didn't get credit for an intercept there. Did get credit for their one right there. And so you're going to want to balance out intercepts with also those 3-hit combos. And it's going to be up to you to figure that out. They in their ratings on him very clearly said this is kind of a high skill use champion. The good news is, and when I show you the fights against Nightcrawler, you're going to see you can play him pretty basically, right? As you're getting comfortable with him and you're making more and more mistakes. You can see right there, it got a little close with precisions. And then you can go ahead and intercept with your special too. When you intercept with the special, you actually get 4 of the precisions, which is really nice. I asked on the CCP server, and they said that his special intercept window was not as big as Hercules. It doesn't feel as big as Hercules, but it didn't feel bad. I really didn't struggle much with getting it. Now, we are going to be moving on to Attuma because I want to show what the Awakened ability does. And this is really interesting. I like that they're leaning into this. Let me find this for you. Unfortunately, on the CCP server, I think it's called the string, wasn't really working, so I couldn't show it to you. But it's just the wording wasn't working. I think the signature ability is working. Right here, it says, leading to the charge shot, Cyclops stores 90% of the damage taken from bleeds and physical thorns as adrenaline. So Attuma's got that physical thorns, physical damage back. Korga have it. Sometimes it's on nodes as well. And then, of course, bleeds. Like, think about like bullseye or what have you. It just says bleed. So it doesn't have to be even a certain type of bleeds. It's just bleeds in general. And then there is a second bullet point. I'm not going to show this off in this video. I am tempted to do another video, though. My boy Germ is showing some cool stuff, and it is very exciting. But for each other X-Men champion on the team, Cyclops enters his first fight with a Precision Tactician charge, each increasing his personal prowess potency by 2% flat and his personal true focus and precision duration by 1%. That's obviously going to be really, really helpful keeping that up. But for today, what we're really focused in on is this adrenaline. Now, I didn't show it, and I apologize. Well, you saw it in the first screen. Once I awakened him, and when we do the Nightcrawler fights that are unawakened, I didn't spec into this, and you'll see why. But I have this stat focus as actually the plus adrenaline. The designer called that out. Really a phenomenal write-up by the designer. And I know who the designer is, and I tend to love their champions. And honestly, Cyclops is so much fun to play. Just absolutely love it. I just click with their designs, and I think they're phenomenal. So we're going in here, and you can see we're attacking this Attuma. You can see we are actually getting a fair amount of health back. Remember, this isn't like Dazzler that's like reflecting or taking no damage. 90% health. I did make a small mistake in that fight. This is about a battleground size health pool. We see that in questing all the time, like the side quests and stuff. So let's not act like it's only in battlegrounds. And to get an Attuma down in 39 seconds, come out with 90% health, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. And don't worry, I'll give a full analysis at the end of like kind of all my thoughts on where he's at. So now we're going to fight this. I think it was 459,000 or 500,000 Attuma. So this is a much bigger Attuma, right? And I'm still at SIG 200. I'm going to make a mistake in this fight. And I do think as you're getting used to playing Cyclops, just like any champion, but with him, I think it's particular, you're going to find yourself making mistakes. One, because you're going to get used to the idea that I do want to intercept. And then he has, again, that stoicism mechanic that's keeping him from moving forward. And so you're going to make some intercept mistakes. But then as you get comfortable with the idea, like, no, I can refresh them and get the precisions just from a 3-hit combo. And that's why, even though chronologically they were out of order, my fights at the beginning of the video, I think looked a little more smooth than these fights earlier, is because this was earlier in my testing. So you can see we're going to go up. I know I made some mistakes. I took some hits into the block. Remember, he doesn't have like a passive stun or anything like that. But, and I'll talk about this quite a bit here on the end of the video too. I think they did a really good job of playing into the mutant dynamic of team building, questing. I think if you just get a team of like Professor X and White Magneto, you're gonna have a lot of fun with those three, maybe even throw in Jean Grey, Phoenix. I might do a full questing team video because it is a very fun team. It's very fun, very powerful. And I think the champions are actually good. It's not like, you know, taking in some crappy ass champion along the way. You can see the time it took to get down this Attuma, 1:07. Not bad at all. Now, I did want to show you his utility, and I think because his damage is so eye-popping, you know, very mutant, big crits, the power efficiencies, all that, I think a lot of us are going to be very curious about the signature ability. I didn't want to test all that. But I wanted to show you this is part of why I actually really like him. Like, we have a lot of big nuky mutants, right? And we've got Jean Grey, we've got whatever. We've got a ton. You don't even have to name like the newest ones. Like, you go back to Professor X, Emma Frost, champions where if they crit, they're doing massive, massive damage. And he's got that, and I really like that. But it's this true focus buff. Now, my memory is that it has only so far been on Serpent. This is handling all evade and all miss, right? This is a really big deal. And then remember, it is refreshing every time you're getting a precision. You can see I am having no trouble preventing Nightcrawler from evading. I think at some point he switches over to his other mode. I didn't do that on purpose. And so I continued to play him as if he could evade for the sake of the video. Because remember, this video is about telling you like, what's possible, what's going on our initial testing. I do want to be thorough so we can get out correct information. What's possible? What are we thinking he might be doing in the game? And my initial analysis is we add him to the general tier list with myself and the Illuminati. So that true focus buff when you think about all the damage he's putting forth, the power efficiencies and those sorts of things, these passive precisions, he's not nullify immune. So if you go onto a node like that, this could fall off. This could be a real problem. And then if it does fall off, you just throw a special and you get it back. So that's pretty cool too. Taking out evade and miss with all that damage, that's a big deal. Those of you who know I love Professor X know I'm going to love this. See right there, that intercept, that's an example of like getting used to his stoicism, his not moving backwards. I was trying, if I don't remember exactly at that point, I was trying to get used to the light intercept. I do not like it with him. Doesn't mean you won't get great with it. You might, but I found his medium to be just significantly more fluid for me. And I found, in a way, I waited for the defender to run in a little bit, his medium intercept would be fine. It was, like I said, it's getting used to him not moving forward. And so that did change the intercept windows and things like that a little bit. But I don't want to say he's like a better Professor X because they're very different champions and I feel the difference. I do get a lot of Dazzler vibes with him. I get a lot of Professor X vibes with him, but he still is very much his own champion. I really like him. Here's the SB3 that I was expecting to come out of in the fight against Black Widow. Again, I think that was an ability accuracy thing. I'm not sure, but you can see it actually used none of our power. I should have thrown my special 2 right away. So this fight's going to take a little bit longer because of that. But again, like I said, this fight was much earlier on, and the fights with Nightcrawler were meant to show you his true focus. We're now going to show a fight against Nick Fury, and then the fights will just kind of play where I kind of give my final thoughts on him after my first like thorough testing. I think he's great. He's a phenomenal addition to the game. Like the designer did an excellent job to the surprise of literally no one. I think you're going to want him for fights where you're going to need to intercept. Remember, he's not putting a debuff on the champion. So fights that aren't requiring debuffs or fights where you're actually penalized for putting on debuffs, he's going to be a phenomenal option for him. Or at least someone you're going to look to where you need to land intercepts and you want some AI manipulation like that. Like Future Ant-Man, so many champions like that with these kind of like invisible infuriates are fantastic. I love that. It doesn't guarantee it. You saw me making some errors with it. I think some people are going to be turned off initially due to the stoicism. I wouldn't let that stop you. I really wouldn't. I think it's something that if you want to get used to, you really can. And it's not, this isn't like the multi-hit combos of Quicksilver and North Star. It is nowhere near that. I think also if you want to play him very basically, you saw you can parry. You don't have to land the intercept. You really don't. You can parry, 3-hit combo, move back. The one thing that's going to possibly start happening is you're going to find yourself getting cornered. And then as you get more comfortable with him, you can alternate those intercepts and the 3-hit combos so that you're pushing the opponent back. You're not losing space on the map. You can start baiting whatever special it is you want to. Your specials actually become unblockable, I think, when you get to 10 precisions, which happens pretty fast. So it sounds like a huge skill asked to intercept with specials. And I'm not going to say that it's not, because you often are going to want the defender to be without any power so you can feel super safe that they're not going to special you to the face. But your special is going to be unblockable. So if you go a little early, you're okay. It's not like you're going to throw your special into their block and then you're going to get punished for it. I love this champion. He's very much in our second tier. I think he's gonna have he has great flow. The flow is very good on him. Even on nodes or like with AIs that were disruptive to it, I didn't feel like he fell apart. His utility with the true focus is excellent. The ability to help you land intercepts is excellent. The power efficiency, this is new, right? We're seeing like Jean Grey and things like that. That's gonna be an ask. As I said, his synergy partners are excellent. They add a lot to it, so you get in the team play, but I think he's going to be pretty good in Battlegrounds. The one thing that, like, it's not a holdback, but I do, again, you know me, I want to make sure you guys are as informed as possible before you spend your units, you rank up resources or anything like that, is you're probably not going to see me, or almost definitely not going to see me be like, I'm taking him to SIG 200. And I think you do want to take him to SIG 200. I think this is a champion that right now, and we'll continue to update them on the tier list every single month. I'll be doing more videos, that whole thing. So make sure you tune in for all that. I'm not going to even awaken him. I feel like he's a champion, and this is actually, it depends on how you look at this. I think he gets a lot from his awakened ability, but I think you want it at SIG 200. But the cool ass thing about it is that means you have a great champion you can use in a ton of places completely unawakened. This might prevent people from putting him in their Battlegrounds decks, especially if you're playing at a high tier, because you only get 30 spots. And so I think I'm probably initially going to be like, I need my Dazzler, because Dazzler can do very similar damage. She's nullifying immune. She doesn't turn off miss, but she's handling that physical damage back. And I did take her to SIG 200. That's a different story. But with Cyclops, you need to take him to SIG 200, in my experience, in order to see a real material benefit that's going to help you in high tier battlegrounds. That doesn't mean he won't be good in battlegrounds, right? We're talking like Celestial, Mysterium, and things like that. He could be very good at low SIG or completely unawakened. But when you're trying to compete at that level, I could see some of those extremely competitive players maybe being a little turned off by it. But then over time, when they get him to high SIG, I mean, you saw against Atuma, came out with 90% health. That's pretty damn good, especially for the speed. And then the other fights that he might be able to take. I think he's going to have a role in war with that sort of utility, with this true focus. And then again, the ability to help you land those intercepts and then do massive damage in very short windows. As usual, let me know what you think we got right. Let me know what you think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.